John Jacob.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries.
Thank you. John Jacob. His name is my name too. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning to you. So I was just watching Dennis Kucinich on Tucker Carlson talking about American sovereignty regarding the unification or the merging of the American and Israeli Defense Forces as a military, and just how that is roped into the National Defense Authorization Act and etc. blah blah blah. Totally traitorous, totally treasonous. You know, I started this channel because I didn't want to see innocent people getting hurt, because people were like using cartel lies to sit there and bolster their pockets, but that puts real everyday people at risk. And so I started my channel. You know, I didn't have anything to say for a long time on any YouTube channel about anything that I did in Mexico. I was just super quiet. You know, I had my stupid little Facebook channel, but that was about it. And then I started seeing Ed talking to Dan Crenshaw, and people start saying a lot of things that hadn't been proven. And I don't have a problem with anything anyone has to say as long as they prove it. But I watch all this stuff, freedom, safety, freedom. You know, you can't have both of them. They don't exist. It's impossible to value freedom or value safety. You pick one or the other. You know, if you want the human race to go on, you're going to have to opt with freedom, because sleeping with someone leads to inherently dangerous things like STDs and other things, etc., etc., etc. And there's also some base honesty in regards to like Trump and the red card. You know, used to be when you were playing soccer, I grew up playing soccer, and I was a fullback, and I broke my tibia and fibula all the way through the game before California State Championships. And I still remember the guy's name, Greg. I'm not going to put his last name into it, but allowed one of their forwards to score. And so the next time they came down, there was all three of them. I hit them so hard that I snapped my tibia and fibula all the way through and had to have pins put into it. Because fuck them, man. I'm not going to let them score. That's it. You know, before soccer started becoming a flopping game in the late 90s. And the reason why it became that is because it used to be where you just have big fullbacks, you run over and you just put the smash on people, and then a lot of their premier stars were getting hurt, so they really started coming down on it, and that led to people flopping all over the place to get calls. Bottom line, I've gotten a lot of red cards, man. When you get a red card, you suck it up, you're out the game, your team's down to 10 players, and you don't get to play the next game. That's it. Principles. Playing chess. I learned how to play chess when I was 4 years old. I've been beat down by like an 11-year-old Indian kid one time, and I'm pretty good at chess. But you accept the loss with grace, and you move on, and you go from there. Principles, man. And there's so many people that do want to live by principles, but then there are other people that do not, and that's the problem. The entire Second Amendment and principles and being able to protect yourself and everybody as part of the militia is now giving way to a standing army and safety and blah, blah, blah. Nobody wants to value freedom, or not publicly. I do. Michael Bolton over at the 10th Amendment Center does. Other people do. Freedom. Sovereignty, freedom to not be joined up with IDF. I mean, right now, currently, I'm taking the course with the 2 Mexican teachers on writing novels. I'm also taking English composition at school, and they're making me take it. And I'm taking psych, something else they're making me take. So I've got like 3 classes going on right now, because I have to be the best version of myself. And I know a lot of you guys feel that way about yourself and do things to sit there to try to grow and increase your ability to be successful and increase your skill set. When I wake up every single morning next to my wife, it's the best thing ever, man. And I know that a lot of you guys got that too. Without a doubt, you know. Calling up FIFA, a corrupt FIFA organization, and having a red card suspended is not principle. Merging our defense forces with Jewish people, because Christians are not Jews, okay? Start with that. This country was founded by Christians. And even if you aren't Christian, you just believe something else, which is completely your right. It doesn't mean having the IDF have top-notch, top-level access to our entire military and be able to control it because it's been merged. I am not an Israeli citizen. I will never be an Israeli citizen, and a lot of you won't either, and a lot of you also agree with that you are not or do not hold allegiance to Israel. I do not hold allegiance to anyone that sits there and murders children. Something else my channel's gotten into. I know that I'm just one more guy with an opinion, but I'm going to say something even if it costs me my freedom in the future, because it's the right thing to do. I don't have to be the smartest. I don't have to be the most accomplished, but I do have to have principle, and I do have to put my best foot forward and have integrity. That I have to do. Not because any of you tell me to, because I have to. And I have to be responsible for myself. And I know that I'm not the only one that feels that way. And if I have those two things, if I have integrity, and if I continually seek to be the best version of myself, that's the best that I can do. Live a morally conscious existence. Freedom requires that. There's a lot of things going on in the world, and I don't know where our Creator is going to have us go or what the fight looks like, but I do know that I'm never going to side on behalf of safety, because freedom is so much more important than that, and I'm never going to side on behalf of having a government take care of me in lieu of myself being out and being capable and being the best version of myself. And I would not ever counsel my children to follow that, being dependent upon somebody, ever, ever, ever. Because we just had the 4th of July, just a couple quick questions, 10 questions that I've got. If the government derives its authority from the consent of the governed, where is the legal mechanism to withdraw that consent? It's an easy question. Natural rights. If we're born free, why does government increasingly treat freedom as something it grants instead of something it recognizes? Pretty simple question. 3, power. Why do elected officials consistently accumulate more authority while ordinary citizens lose more autonomy? Good question. Number 4, foreign policy. How does bombing civilians overseas protect liberty at home? 5, tech. Who is morally accountable when autonomous weapons, not human beings, decides who lives and who dies? That's a good question. 6, influence. When billionaires, lobbyists, and bureaucracies shape policy more than voters, can we still be honestly calling it government by the people? I don't know, man. You tell me. 7, sovereignty. Does an American citizen owe primary allegiance to the Constitution of the American people, or to foreign governments, ideologies, or international institutions? Especially when those people are committing genocide and killing babies, killing little schoolgirls. It's just questions I got. Sorry about the jet overhead, man. 8, founding principles. Are we preserving the philosophy of the Declaration of Independence, or slowly replacing it with permanent administrative government? I don't know. 9, hypocrisy. Why do we condemn tyranny abroad while expanding surveillance, regulation, and centralized power at home, turning the place into China? I don't know, man. You tell me. And number 10, the future. At America's 250th anniversary, are we moving closer to individual liberty or farther away from it? You know, would our founding fathers sit there and think that we're becoming more or less tyrannical? And with all these questions, it's just 10 simple questions. You know, America's divided towards people that prefer safety And those that prefer freedom, and the police will sit there at every turn, even though stuff like Uvalde happens, and they stand there not doing anything, telling you that they need more and more tools to keep you safe. And safety shouldn't be the mark, the gold ring. Freedom should be. Cheers, man.
Public hangings, this here hot dog.